Guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Premier. So we're going to go through some questions from Cambridge. So Cambridge questions. These are very similar to ZIMSEC. So that's one reason that you should stick around if you're going to sit for the exam in November. And then the other reason is that these questions, they're packed with a lot of concepts that are so much such that if we just answer maybe just one question, it will be informative and for other questions as well that you may encounter. So I advise you to really stick around. This is going to be a really informative video. Question 1a, it says evaluate, then we have 3.5 minus 1.9 divided by 0.8. Okay, so you're supposed to evaluate. So evaluate, it simply means use the correct or proper mathematical steps or mathematical operations to get the actual answer. Okay, so here we're going to just figure out which one takes priority. So the first thing that we realize is that the upper part of the question, it's kind of a train. Okay, so you're actually dealing with one term here. So this term here, we need to make it such that it's just a single term. So on your paper, you can just do an aside where you say 3.5 minus 1.9. Then you evaluate this so that you can replace it in this first step here. So here, 5 minus 9, you did have to say 15 minus 9 here, and then you'd have to cancel and then give 1 here. So this one, 15 minus 9, you actually get 6, and 3 minus 2, you just get 1. Okay, so it's 1.6 like this. So what we did was that we actually meshed the commas so that they're just in line, and then the terms that we'll be subtracting, they're just corresponding. So for example, 5 is 10th, and then 9 is also 10th. So that's what we did. So at the end of the day, you get 1.6 here. This is the first step, divided by 0.8. 1.6 divided by 0.8, the problem that it's not really a problem, but then one of the things to note here is that 0.8, it could be 8, okay? So 0.8, it's a decimal. When we're dividing, we don't want decimals here, especially when you're doing it without a calculator. So you actually have to adjust this one here. But then how do you adjust? You adjust by multiplying by 10, of which if you multiply by 10, on the bottom, you actually have to multiply by 10 at the top as well. So you multiply all in all, you multiply by 10 over 10. So this is important for one reason. 10 over 10 is actually simply 1, so you're not changing anything. This is a very useful and a very major point when dealing with math. You actually don't change the values for the most part, especially when you're dealing with conversions or you're just dealing with mathematical operations or equations or anything. So here we multiply by 10 so that we can have 8 at the bottom here. So because 0.8 multiplied by 10, you just shift the comma to the right, then this becomes 8. And then 1.6 multiplied by 10, you shift the comma to the right again, and then this becomes this becomes 16. Okay, so this becomes 16 like this. So 16 divided by 8, you actually just get 2. If you're really fast, you may have the foresight to say 1.6, it's actually 2 times 0.8, so that you know beforehand what answer you'll be expecting. But then I advise you to actually show these steps, because these steps are the steps that they teach you, so they want to test whether you know the steps or not. So the second part, it says 9 plus 6 divided by 3 minus 4 like this. So here we use a concept called BOMDAS. BOMDAS. So what this simply means is some operations, they take priority. The first operation that takes priority, it's the brackets. Okay, so the brackets. Whenever you have brackets, you actually have to simplify whatever you have in those brackets. And then M stands for multiplication. So multiplication takes precedence over division, and addition follows after, and then subtraction. These addition and subtraction, they're not very important. So the concept of BOMDAS, we use it to identify what operation takes priority. For this one, it's brackets. So whenever we have brackets, we should simplify whatever is in brackets first. And whenever we have multiplication, that follows in the hierarchy. And then we have division, and then we have addition, and then we have subtraction. So here we have division of all the operations. Division will take precedence. So you actually have 9 plus, then 6 divided by 3. 6 divided by 3, it's simply 2, then minus 4. The reason I said addition and subtraction are for the most part not really important is that you can simplify this in any order. So you can actually say 9 plus 2, then you'd get 11, then 11 minus 4, then you'd get 7. Okay, so you get 7 here. You can put your equal signs in line just to make your answer very neat. Okay, so you'd actually get 7 here. So that's it for this question. Let's see if we can move over to the next question. Next question says, Ben is given some money. He spends some of it and saves the remainder. The ratio of the money he spends to the ratio of the money he saves is 3:2. Okay, 3:1. He spends $15. Calculate the amount of money Ben was given. Okay, so this is simple proportion. It's a very common testing point for ZIMSEC and also for Cambridge. So you're supposed to know your ratios and also how to manipulate them. In most of these cases, what I advise my students to do is to actually identify this money here. So this money here, what fraction is it corresponding to? Okay, what's the corresponding fraction for this money here? So the ratio of the money he spends to the money he saves is this. So you should know that he spends this. So which index here are we dealing with in the ratio? So obviously the way that they give ratio usually, it's they usually use the word respectively. Okay, so isn't the money he spends comes first, and then the money he saves here. So the money he spends is 3 out of every 4 parts. Okay, so you're actually dealing with fraction of the money he spends is 3 out of every 4 parts. So you're dealing with 3/4. 3/4 correspond to $15 here. Okay, so if you're dealing with this, the way that you can work out the whole means how much amount, the total amount is there, is to just invert this. Okay, so I'll tell you why we invert. So you should have something like 4/3 multiplied by $15 like this. Then here it cancel, this one becomes 5, and then 5 multiplied by 4, then you get what? Then you get 20. So remember, it's $20 here. Okay, so let me just tell you, this is how you'd go about it in the exam. Just identify what fraction is given for the corresponding money here. That's all that matters. And once you're done with that, now let me just show you why we do that. So the reason we do that is you're dealing with 3/4 here is to $15, but then we're using simple proportion. So the money, the total money would be 4/4, or it would be 1. Okay, so I'm going to write 4/4 here. Okay, 4/4 must be more. So if it's more, it's bigger number at the top. Of which when you're comparing numbers that are under the same denominator, then obviously you can just compare them without including the denominators. If you want also, you can also say if it's more, then it's bigger number at the top. So you have 4/4 divided by, so this one will be at the top, and then divided by 3/4. Then after getting a result here, you multiply by $15. This is how we do it if we're using simple proportion. Okay, so you'd actually get here, what you discover is that you get 4/4 multiplied by 4/3. This one you're not supposed to include it. Remember, I'm just explaining to you why we use this operation. Okay, so you actually have a case of 4/3 multiplied by $15 here. So simple as this. So the clutch was just recognizing that we can just invert this fraction, and then that should be it, because the amount that we want, it's actually corresponding to 4/4. Okay, so another way to explain the same thing would be, let me just that's it, that's done. So another way to go about this, doing the same thing, would be to realize that the corresponding index would be three items for every 4 items. 3 items here correspond to $15, and then the whole would be the total number of items in the ratio, so it would be actually 4. corresponding to more. Okay, for you, if it's more, it's bigger number at the top. Okay, so you'd still have the same expression that we had here. So that's just about it. Remember, you're not supposed to include those ones. You're just supposed to get the corresponding fraction and also the corresponding share, and then you invert and then you multiply. You should be able to get the whole amount. Okay, so you'd actually get 20 here. So let's see if we can do just one more if possible. So it says work out 15% of 80. Okay, so 15% of 80. I think we will have to stop here, or even maybe up to question 2. Okay, so 15% of 80, 15% of 80 means 15% by 80. This is paper 1. You are not allowed calculator. So 15% actually means 15 over 100 multiplied by 80 here. This is what you want to work out. So here you would this one would cancel, this one would cancel. And then you can use 5 here because it's common. So you'd have 2 here, then here you'd have 3, then 2 here, then here you'd have 4, and then you get 12. Okay, so it should actually be 12 here. So that's it. And on the B part, so the clutch here was just recognizing percentage. Percentage means out of 100. If it's 1.2%, it means 1.2 out of 100, which is 12 over 1,000. It's not really relevant here, but let's continue. So second part says 3 over 5 minus 2 over 7. Okay, so here we use the primary school route. Okay, so the primary school route would be to actually get the common denominator, which should be the lowest common multiple of the denominator. So this is 5 and 7, so we should get the lowest common multiple is 35 here. So let me actually, since we don't have space, let me actually write it here. So you'd have 35 here, and since you have 35, you can say 5 into 35, then you'd get 7, then 7 times 3, then you get 21, then 5 into 7 into 35, you get 5 times 2, then you get 10. So you'd actually get 21 minus 10 over 35. So 21 minus 10, you get 11 over 35. You can't further simplify this, so you'd have to stop at this. Okay, so this would be the simplified form. Why? Because we don't have any common factors between 11 and 35. So that's just about it. We'll continue with questions 3 going forward in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Yuba out.